So there's a guy on YouTube that you may have heard of because he has a friggin' massive audience. It's unexplainable, but he has a massive audience. That man is Tim Pool. Now, before I even get into this here, someone else on YouTube has done a fantastic job breaking down a lot of Tim Pool's bullshit. That is Vaush, Vaush, I believe. Look up his channel. He does some great videos on Tim Pool. But I saw this, and I want to quickly go through this because this is a man who is sort of a more successful version of Dave Rubin, meaning he is somebody who pretends to be of the left, a former Democratic Party supporter, who all he does is prop up Donald Trump. That's all Tim Pool does. Now, this account, Tim Pool Clips, did quite a bit of research into how Tim Pool does this. They say here, over the past 2 months, we've watched over 330 Tim Pool videos, God help you, and collected a list of every source he used and its political bias. Here is what we found. Let's get started here. So according to our analysis of over 330 videos, Tim Pool uses pro-right-wing biased sources almost 60% of the time, with his most commonly used source being the Daily Mail, a source so unreliable and controversial that Wikipedia doesn't allow its use as a reference in articles. So here's a quick pie chart here. Right-wing sources, 59%. Now, they say left here, but hold it. Because what they consider left, I would not consider to be on the left. But they say here, left-wing sources, 31%, and 10% is least biased. Additionally, across the 330-plus videos analyzed, Tim Pool's top 10 sources include 6 that have a pro-right-wing bias, including Breitbart, a source judged to be extreme right by the independent service we use to determine source bias. Now, this gives you a little window. If I can go small here so you can see this in a bigger screen. Check this out. So we got here, so right wing is in red, obviously. Daily Mail, Fox News, New York Times, left. They consider New York Times to be a left-wing source. Now, you could say maybe culturally, maybe pro-choice, does not agree with white nationalists. So maybe in that sense, left bias. But in terms of economic policy and in terms of, say, the Democratic primary, not a left-wing bias. Anyone that followed that primary at all understands New York Times, Washington Post, mainstream media, CNN, another one here. Here's Washington Post, Newsweek. Newsweek's kind of back and forth. But Washington Post, New York Times, CNN, not big fans of Bernie Sanders. Not big fans of the working class. There is the occasional story that is an investigative piece that dives into aspects, say the eviction crisis and stuff like that. But when it comes to political analysis, not at all left-wing bias. But that's what apparently Tim Pool has used here, and is considered to be left-wing. But here you have Andy No, right-wing provocateur here, Andy No, as one of the major sources for Tim Pool. New York Post, the Oregonian, Breitbart, so other sources here. But again, this is somebody who pretends to be, I'm a disillusioned Democratic Party supporter. The left's gone crazy. Let me now only source right-wing sources while discussing how crazy the left are. Like this, and it is an amazing grift. It is an amazing grift. Tim Pool, every single one of his videos, it hitting 1 million or almost 1 million. It is crazy. Absolutely crazy the amount of views that man gets. There is so much money to be made on YouTube if you are a right-wing grifter. And Tim Pool is the perfect example of that. Going on here, Across 330 plus videos analyzed, Tim Pool's 5 most used sources are from most used to least: Daily Mail, Fox News, New York Times. Andy No tweets. This still cracks me up. New York Post. I think one more tweet here. When Tim Pool does include sources with a pro-left bias, New York Times, Washington Post, CNN apparently, he often does so to criticize them for perceived failings or bias, rarely if ever doing the same with right and extreme right biased sources. Please do not fall for the Tim Pool right-wing grift. Despite his claims of being center-left, Tim Pool did not use a single source from an extreme left publication in the 330 plus videos analyzed. However, 5% of his sources have an extreme right-wing bias, including Breitbart, which is his joint 6th most used source. So in case you're wondering what actual left, like, there are conservatives that are so in their own ecosystem that they don't realize that we don't consider New York Times, CNN, MSNBC to be left-wing. Like, that's how sheltered those people, some of this audience is. An actual left-wing source, Jacobin, The Nation, New Republic. So they exist, but not Tim Pool's go-to, even though he's center-left, apparently. So just a little warning out there, you know, my audience, my usual audience is fully aware of grifters like this. But if you're out there and you see a Tim Pool video and, oh, hey, this guy is from the left and he says the left's going crazy, recognize this guy is doing what he does to make a shit ton of money, lying to people as a right-wing grift.